welcome back to my channel. It's Christina at Homeschooling Grace. And today is another weekly update. Week 20. Yeah, we're to week 20. So week 20 was a good week and oh, I hear a baby. All right, so how are you guys doing with the sheltering in place? I don't know which states are all I can't speak today. Sheltering in place. We definitely still are. Apparently things are going to start opening up soon, but who knows? It is a roller coaster of emotions with it. Some days I'm totally fine, and other days, like, I get major anxiety. It's crazy. So, anyways, nobody wants to hear about it anymore. Everyone knows we're all in the same boat, and it really stinks. We will get through this. God is good. God is on the throne. Okay, so I've got curriculum all over for week 20, and so let's just dive on in. I feel like I'm far away. Here, is that better? Okay, so we're gonna start with my preschooler. If I can get the book. Oh, and I want to mention down below in the description box, I will have the timestamps for each grade level. So if you were just looking for, let's say, 4th grade or 1st grade, you can look at the timestamp, and then you can go to that time and just watch for that grade level. Okay. All aboard the animal train. Okay, so she's actually to week 8. If you've been here a while, you know my preschooler's behind the rest of them that are at week 20. But everyone else is at week 20. Okay, so one thing I started doing for hers is I started marking hers with an orange color pencil the days that we would do, because I could not. I've used this now. This is my 3rd time using it, and I was getting confused which check mark was for which day. And which child I had done it for. I was trying to get 3 check marks, and then some days I wouldn't do them with some of the kids, and so there wouldn't be a check mark, and I'm like, wait, did I do that one? Did I not? So I'm like, I'm gonna start color coding the years. So she gets orange now, and when I teach this again, I'll use a different color. So that's a little tip. If you're using these teacher's manuals year after year, maybe start color coordinating your check marks. I guess if you're wanting to resell them later, it's not the best option because you can't erase it, but I don't know if I'm going to sell it. I'll probably just give them away once we're all done and just bless another family. So to start with, she made her little Bible verse ducky. So this time I had her trace it out. Normally we don't do that. I'll just have her color the little Bible verse card that comes with the curriculum in the student sheets. But this time I actually had her trace it out, and then I colored the little duck on it, and she really had fun doing that. She wanted to make more than one, so then it was like the mom and the babies. So that was fun for her. It was also, we were supposed to pretend to be ducks. If you've done this curriculum, there's days where you pretend to be the animals that they're learning about, and you kind of read a little story about like the mommy and then the babies, and it's really cute, but I don't want to do that anymore. So now we use these little guys. And this is the mommy duck, and this is the baby duck, and they do all the stuff because I don't want to get on the floor anymore. Pretend to build a nest, and I know, it's probably totally lazy of me, and if you're up to pretending to be a duck, like, that is awesome, and I say go for it. Your kids will love it. I just don't want to do it anymore. So do what works best for your family, okay? Also, she did little puzzle ducks. She did really well. I let her paint them, and then she put them all together, and then we glued them on. You don't have to have them glue them on, but she liked doing that. She wanted to save them. Okay, I had to grab a few more things. So I really like this week. The last 2 weeks actually have been you sing This Little Light of Mine, and I just love that song, and I feel like it's so fitting for right now. It feels kind of like a dark world with all the virus stuff going on and everything happening, and singing This Little Light of Mine with my preschoolers is like so precious, and just teaching them those like truths in a song, I feel like is it's just precious. So anyways, this is a CD that it comes with, the Sing for Joy. I really like it. My kids like it. We always listen to the songs, so there you go. Okay, I wanted to also share the books that we read this week. So you read through the First Virtues and A Big Treasury of Little Animals, and we read through The Fuzzy Duckling. And you do read these, or you end up reading them 3 times over 3 weeks. And she does not get bored with it. She enjoys it. I guess some kids could get bored with it. I think I've had one. She did get kind of bored with that, but 2 of them have not. They really enjoy it the 3 times a week. So, or reading them 3 times over 3 weeks. Like, it's not like, oh man, I gotta listen to that one again. They really like the stories. Okay, and lastly, I wanted to share, there's a yellow popsicle recipe for pineapple popsicles that sound delicious, especially today. It's kind of warm. And I wish I would have made them, but I don't have a big enough freezer. And so I don't have room to make popsicles right now. So if you do, I always say do the recipes because typically they're pretty yummy. And so I wanted to share that. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Oh, one more thing. The Play-Doh recipe that's in here is my favorite Play-Doh recipe. It makes like perfect Play-Doh, and I just saw on the My Father's World, is it Facebook page? It may have been Instagram. I'll look for it and try and link it below. But they're sharing the recipe, and it is an awesome Play-Doh recipe. So go check it out and make some Play-Doh with your kids because it's super easy and super quick, and it's seriously like the Play-Doh brand, I guess. It's well worth it. Okay. That was a lot for my preschooler. Okay, moving on to my pre-Ker. Voyage of Discovery. Oh, I loved the verse this week, so I actually put it up here because, again, it's been some hard weeks. So it says, I will lie down and sleep in peace. You alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. And that's just, I need these truths, these scriptural truths to just pour over me, and if I can get it while my kids are doing school, like, it's awesome because I definitely need it right now too. So that was her main verse for the week, and again, it's through a song, and so just a second, let me grab it. I'm sharing all the CDs this week. Okay, so it's this Steve Green's Hide 'Em in Your Heart. I love this. The songs are they get stuck in my head, which is good because I need them stuck in my head. So you listen to this each day, and she always enjoys it. It's like how we start our day with school, is we always listen to her music first, and it kind of just, it's that song that we can sing together, that scripture together, and then start our school day. And it's just kind of a sweet time, and I think it's important to do. So we're still reading through her Bible, and she has really started to just enjoy this book a lot, this Bible. So she actually takes it to bed with her at night, and her daddy, my husband, he goes and she likes it when he snuggles and reads to her from this, or she tries to pretend to read it. And so it's just been a real joy to see that lately, like the joy in the Bible. So she was learning about Daniel, so she made a little lion face, which I thought turned out so cute. Okay, so for which letter she was on letter N. So I normally feel like I do pretty well at picking out our special poster, like what we'll put on here. And this week, I do not like what I printed out a nest, which the nest is really pretty, but it just does not, I don't know. It's fine, it's not a big deal. And then I found a couple little tiny nest stickers, so she put those on. But this was, I kind of feel like a fail on my part. I did not plan ahead well enough what to stick on here, and so I just had to print something out quickly. Okay, so also with that, you're supposed to do a snack each week of like what corresponds with the letter. And I'm, again, not always good about preparing ahead of time for that. So we've just been reading through this when it comes to the snack time, and I'll have her find whichever letter we're on. And she seems to be enjoying that just fine. So, N was for nectarine, so we did that. And then I have her find all the N's on the page. And I call it good for the snack time. What's nice is they give you recommendations in here for the snacks. I'm just bad about remembering to like buy them at the store or like have them on hand. And now with the stores all crazy, I definitely don't want to like just make a quick run to get the snack for the letter of the day. Okay, so this week was really cool too because it was all about triangles and learning about triangles and the side shapes and stuff. So we played a game with these, the lacing tracing cards. And so she would have to look for, we just put them in a pillowcase, and I always keep one in the schoolroom. And so she'd have to, with just her hand, she'd have to find either, whoops. It was just with the square and the triangle and the circle. You can't even see it. Anyways, she'd have to, just by touch, figure out which was which and pull it out. So that was part of it. Then she made triangles with mini marshmallows and spaghetti, or not mini marshmallows, regular marshmallows and spaghetti. And she had a lot of fun with that. And then we also, with Play-Doh, we cut out triangles with just a knife. And so it was just a lot on focusing on that shape, which I just feel like is so good at solidifying it in their little minds, how to recognize that shape. And it's all like in fun. It's not like tedious paperwork. Oh, this was also a fun week because she was learning about Daniel. So she learned about, the lions. And we read all these stories again in here, which again, I just love this book. So we read about Daniel and the lion's den, and then Jonah and the big whale. And isn't that just like a great visual? Him and the fish. Anyways. And so also we made, like, I took a big sheet and we made a big fish and pretended to be in it. And she didn't quite want to be in it, so I pretended to be Jonah, and then Reese told the story. So to really get that the story in her mind, it's just really cool. So these were the 2 books that we used this week. I really like this one now that she's getting more into it, or I guess further into using it, because I'm not sure which page you're on. Anyways, she's getting better at recognizing her numbers, and then we can count for the items on the pages. So it's really good at, again, recognizing the letter or numbers and then counting it out, how many are there. So I really appreciate this book. And then this one was about the mother work is never finished, and it just always makes me laugh. I think it's just a funny story of like the mommy pig. I guess some people get offended by it. I think it's silly. Don't be offended. Come on, it's just it's a silly story, and we do a lot. I think the story very much just shares what a mom does. And this just cracked me up with the, this the vacuum octopus coming. Because I've heard nightmares about these vacuum people coming. I'm sorry if you're one of them. But it's kind of funny. So anyways, it's just a fun story. She just gets a kick out of these stories. And there's so many pictures to look at and to see, and you can really get enamored looking at the pictures and like the little detail that Richard Scarry adds in. Like, I don't know if you saw one of the pictures, like the mama pigs in the bathtub with the kids totally dressed, and oh my daughter just thought it was so funny. Okay, so that was all for my pre-care. Okay, moving on. This is getting too long. Okay, I need to speed it up some. Come on, Christina. Okay, week 20. First grade, week 20. Okay, so she's still working through, I'm going to cover this up because I'm farther than what I'm saying on here. Okay, she is finishing up, she finished up the Old Testament this week, and she's been enjoying marking them off and learning about each of the books of the Bible. So this week she was learning about the burning bush and like the 10 plagues and such. So again, we read the Bible story, and I decided, so I've been doing the journey every day with My Father's World, or from My Father's World, the Bible study, and they always have like what to look for when you're reading the Bible. And so it's like, what do you learn about Jesus or God in that lesson, and what do you like take away from it? And so I decided to start asking her that while we read these sections. And sometimes she has something to share and sometimes she doesn't, but I think it helps her to start thinking for herself on like, what is she learning from these Bible stories, and not just like me continuing to tell her like, hey, this is what it's telling you. Okay, another good verse for the week, and I didn't write it this time, but trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I mean, come on. It is like all these verses is what I needed this week, with all this crazy, again, crazy times. Okay. So I wanted to share, as she is going through this, instead of making, like, if I can tell she's really struggling with the words, I will definitely go through, and you can see where I've marked up the words to help her be able to sound them out. So as in burning, I'll say remember, as in her, and we'll reference her reading chart down here so that helps her to be able to recognize that burning. And then, if she needed to, I would have underlined the ing. Fire, I marked that for her. So I'm really trying to help her be able to decipher these words that can be harder, because it's just hard. So that's one little tip that what I've been doing to help her get through that. And she really enjoyed learning about the plagues. Yep, she's doing good through this. So anyways, we're getting through her workbook still. She's getting really close to being done, so she's getting really excited with that. She's having a better attitude about this. This has always been our kind of struggle, but she's doing a lot better with it. And she also is doing really well with dictating what she's read. So she'll dictate to me what she's learned about from the story, and then I'll write it on a whiteboard, and then she'll rewrite it. And so for this one, it was God wanted Moses. Oh, we forgot the 2, to set his people free. Oh well, it's fine. So it's not perfect writing, but we're getting it done. And I'm really grateful for this, because she can be one to give me a little pushback, and if she's willing to do it, that's like thumbs up. Okay, so that was Bible, language arts, or English. So for math, she has moved on to her flashcards here that come with the curriculum. So I have started keeping them in this little thing. So I separate them with the addition and then the subtraction. I don't know if you can see that. So I just put an index card in between. I have to keep this up high, otherwise my toddler will get into it and spill them everywhere. So she is one that she really loves flashcards. So this has been really fun for her to do. She enjoys it. My first daughter that I did, my oldest that I did first grade with, she hated the flashcards. I shouldn't say hate, that's a strong word. She did not like doing the flashcards, but this one, she loves it. So that's like really super that she likes it so much. So that was for math. And then we're still doing enjoying art together, and I just love it. This is so pretty. So that was fun to do. The music this week was just a catch up, so there wasn't anything particularly assigned. It's if we just assigned. It was just if we had gotten behind, you can catch up this day. So that was good. For science, we were supposed to be doing science with water, and we did not do it this week, unfortunately. But that's okay. It wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, moving on to my 4th grader. Okay, creation to the Greeks. She's still working through Psalm 23. I wish I would have, each week that we were going through it, I wish I would have read the corresponding chapter, and then I think I could have discussed a little better each of the verses, because it goes through each portion. And so I wish I would have done that. I've read through this, or most of it before. I have like a bunch of dog ears in there. But I think I should have just done it with her each week, and that would have been a neat way to like give me more to kind of disciple her through that chapter. Okay, and then again, the verse for this week is like, it's like God knew I needed these verses during this week. So this one was, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I mean, doesn't that just make you like, oh, I can just relax, because goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. You just like want to kind of just sit and, go out in your green pasture and think on that. So I just love that. Okay, so that was for Bible. She was also reading through 1 Samuel still, and she's really been enjoying going through the Bible together. It's been really nice to go chapter by chapter together, and we can just talk on it. And again, I'm trying to ask those questions for her, like what do we learn about God, or what's it say about God in this portion, and what do you learn about God through it? And instead of me just telling her, like, this is what it's saying, it helps with that dialogue. Okay, so that was Bible. So for English, she's still working through her English from the roots up. And I'm still really liking this. I've been better about having her look up the words that correspond to it in the dictionary. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so the word was geo, which is earth, or geo, I guess would be another way of saying it. So like geography, I'd have her look up geography instead of we were looking for a while just up the English word, which would be earth, instead of these ones that it recommends. And so we've started doing that, which then helps break down, you can see the root words that make up the words and then their definition in the dictionary and not just in here. And she loves geography, so it was kind of fun to learn about geo being earth and like we're studying the earth. We're still really liking spelling power. I'm liking it and she's liking it. She got a little iffy on it, but not iffy. I think the sun is shining and she just doesn't want to do the work as much. I think we might be getting senioritis. April, and we still have quite a ways to go. So, oh well. So we're doing that. Still working through language lessons. It was nice. It was a poem. And we just really she really enjoys the poems. So that was fun. Got to keep myself in order. Okay, so that was Bible, English, math. We're still working through Matthew C. Gamma. And she has taken to, since my husband is home from work, she's been wanting to do it at night with him instead of doing math with me, which is totally fine. He can totally take over math. So they've been doing it in the evening, like after dinner together, which has been nice. And I will share, our schedule has been so wacky lately. We were doing really well with, in the morning, my preschoolers, and then in the afternoon were my two olders after lunch, but my toddler's naps have been getting off, so she's been going down later for her second nap, and so I typically am maybe getting one of my two older done in the afternoon, or I'm having to just, after dinner, I do school with them too, like when my husband's done with work, and then he can help me with the toddler, or the toddler's in bed, because she is so busy right now. It's really been difficult to keep our normal schedule, but we just try and be flexible with it and not feel like we're trapped under it. Like it just needs to kind of work for us right now. It's just a season of just kind of difficulty, and I know next year will be a bit better because she'll be a little older, and so So for history, she finished up the Trojan Horse book, and then we moved on to the children's Homer. I've heard mixed reviews about this. I don't mind the book. It's a little tough to read through with all the names, but what we did, these are not required at all, but I think it's, on one of the My Father's World Facebook groups, Stephanie Santos, I think that's how you say her name, she made these little pictures of each of the people in the story. There's a lot of people to keep track of. And so whoever it's talking about, we'll pull out the person, and then it kind of helps us to be able to keep track of the characters and not who is that again? To have a visual. This isn't required at all, but if you feel like you're bouncing around, this is really helpful. And I'll try and link it below if I can find it. Also, it's really good in the teacher's manual. It gives you prompts for what is going to happen in that chapter or what already happened, so that you can kind of remember oh yeah, that's what happened. So that's been helpful, and the story is actually pretty interesting, I think. So let me know if you know of any good movies to then watch after we're done with this. I know there was a Brad Pitt Troy, but I don't think it was very appropriate. Was it Troy or Achilles? I can't remember now. But I don't think it was very inappropriate for a 4th grader. But maybe I can watch it on like VidAngel or something. Okay. So we also would use this when we would read this. When it would speak of like a specific god or goddess, I could then like show her like kind of a visual of that one, like Zeus and Hera. So that was a good visual aid to go with that. Ancient World and this is so heavy. Streams of Civilization. She still loves both of these books, so whenever these are scheduled, she gets really excited. So that might not be normal, and that might not happen in your house. Your kids might not enjoy these as much, but she really enjoys them. So we always try to, or I make sure to always add these in. We're getting to the end, folks. We're getting to the end. Okay. Science in the Beginning. Her and my husband have still been trying to catch up from where we got behind to catch up, and I keep telling them like just pick it up where we're at, but for some reason they want to catch up, so they can do what they want. So again, they've been working through this together in the evenings, and so that's been helpful. The music this week was really cool. It was the Bach and the clavichord and the harpsichord, and I just think they're cool instruments, so we made sure we listened to those. I always like to hear the different musical instruments that you can listen to, what these guys did. And I mean, he's awesome, Bach, if you really think about it. I think he had like 20 kids. I could be wrong. I should go look it up so I give you correct facts. Yeah, he had 20 kids. I think that's awesome. This is another really cool book if you want to look up the musicians, and they have a bunch that you can get. Lives of writers, of artists, presidents, athletes, anyways. This is a fun one, and it's got fun stories to go along with it. But yeah, he had 20 kids. Can you imagine trying to like compose music with 20 kids? I just think like I have 5 kids, and I'm like, I would love to play my piano, and I feel like every time I go to play it, my toddler comes and like, like, I don't know how he did it. Or his wife was like amazing to keep the kids out of the room while he was composing or something. I don't know. Or maybe he just let them do it and he kept like just ignoring them. I don't know. I think that's pretty awesome. That's it. That was a lot. So thank you so much for sticking around and watching through all this curriculum. And I thank you so much for leaving comments below and video ideas. I've been getting so many great video ideas, which I'm going to be rolling out with. I'm sorry it's been a while since I've gotten a video out. Again, we're in crazy times, and I feel like my life is changing, and I'm trying to catch up with it and cling to the Lord and just follow truth and godliness. Anyways, I digress. Thank you so much for watching this. If you like this, here are some other videos to go check out, and I hope to see you at the next video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.